Hey everyone, it's Mr. D here. We're going to go over a few examples prior to you turning in the homework just to make sure there's no questions. You can also watch the videos that are posted in the study guide, and between this video and those videos you should be pretty good to complete the homework assignment problems that have been assigned. So I'm going to work through a couple of examples, maybe a handful, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So let's say we wanted to look and see how many transactions that Betsy had made for lip gloss in the East region. And we have our titles up here on the top, and we have the little drop down arrow which allows us to filter data. We said we wanted to look at only Betsy. Right now every one of the sales agents is selected. We can turn them all off by unclicking the select all. And now we're going to look at just Betsy by clicking on Betsy and clicking OK. And if you notice now we only have Betsy listed in the name column. That's because we only now have 217 records to choose from that Betsy sold product for. Now we have Betsy selling lip gloss, eyeliner, foundation, and mascara. We want to limit this to lip gloss, so we can do the drop down by the product name, unselect everything, and now choose lip gloss. Now we've narrowed it down to a total of 53 records. And we wanted to look at the East region. And if we click the down arrow, unselect, and choose only East, we've now limited our fields to 19 records where Betsy sold lip gloss in the East. If you're going to copy this over as you're required to do in the homework and put it in a different tab, I've already got problem 1 set up as a tab. We're going to copy this over, assuming this was the assignment. We'll highlight the records we want to choose, hit Control C, go over to that tab, and we should be able to paste or Control V our records. Now you notice this is not a copy of every record. Over here we have a total of almost 1900 total lines or rows of data. Here we've only pasted the 19 records that came from our filter. So there is no break in the column, row data. There are only 19 total records here for us to have based on our filter. One of the other questions you'll be asked to do is to take a percentage of the top in regards to a certain column of data. Well, let's say we wanted to do the top 15% of total dollars. We could go to the total dollars column, choose number filters, and then we could choose the top 10 option. Now don't get confused, because the top 10 option doesn't tie you to the top 10 of anything. It can be the top or the bottom. You can change this number up or down, and it can be items or percentage. Let's say we wanted to do the top 15%. We could increase this to 15%, and now for the filter under total dollars, this is the top 15%, total of 283 records would fall into the top 15% of total sales. And you could do the same thing for units sold in a different percentage. If you wanted to filter this to be items, instead of percentage, you would change this to items, and let's say we wanted the top 15 items. This would be the total list of those 15 items. Notice they're all included. If we were to filter and turn off some of these salespeople, you would have less than 15 shown, but that's because you filtered it for another selection in addition to total dollars. So we're still looking at the top 15, but only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this case meet the criteria of being sold by CC, Colleen, or Emily. So don't get confused there that the top percentage or top items are what you have filtered. It will be only for the item column you choose, or the data column you choose, and if you have other filters in place, you won't see all 15 or how many you choose. In this case, if we turn all the other filters off, where we only have filtering here, we'll have a total of 15 records to meet the criteria for the top 15 in total dollars. There's one question that's asked about um, unit sales and ranking for a price that's a maximum of a certain amount. There is no unit sales in here, and there are some advanced filters you can do. But I would tell you just to go ahead and add a column for unit cost. We know how to calculate that, which would be the total dollars divided by units, and copy that down to all of the other rows of data. Now, if you notice, there is no drop-down arrow here. If we turn filtering off and turn filtering back on, Excel is smart enough to grab all of the columns of data, and now we could filter for a certain number with total unit cost. If during the homework you're asked to find something that's above or below average, or above a certain price or quantity, you've also got that option built in under number filters to be above average or below average. So in this case, if we chose above average, that would be half of the records that were above the average that Excel already calculated. So you don't have to worry about doing any advanced calculations for average. You would just want to choose the filter and choose above or below average depending on what was being asked in the question. Also notice that when we do a selection, let's say we choose just a couple of names. Let's choose Ashley and Betsy. This would be an OR situation where you're going to list all the sales for either Betsy or Ashley sold product based on a date range. So if you see a question that wants you to list 2 or more people, that's simply selecting from the list 2 or more months, 2 or more products, 2 or more names. Don't overly complicate the OR, thinking you have to do a formula for that. Simply by choosing the names, that is an OR. We list everything that is Betsy or Ashley. That is not an AND function. If you're requested to do a summary of transactions between a certain date, between is also a filter. When you're on a date field, Excel knows that you're in a date field, so it's going to give you date filter calculations. Before, between, so between a date range is what you would want, but if you had to do next week or next month or even last year or last quarter, all of those are pre-programmed into Excel. You should be able to easily do a date range between by just choosing the day is on or after and is before or on for your date range. And there's even a little calendar button over here you can choose to help you pick those if you need that extra assistance. Finally, I want to mention what to do when it asks for unique records. And unique records means to delete anything that's a duplicate. And depending on what it asks for, you're going to use the Remove Duplicates option up here under the Data Tools section. And you won't want to use that for every column. You'll want to read the assignment to see what it's talking about. So let's say that you were asked to find unique combinations for salesperson and region. All right, so we would click in our data table, anywhere in the data table, click on Remove Duplicates. And Excel by default is going to list every column you have and remove duplicates for every column. We don't want to do that. We want to unselect and then choose specifically what we're looking for. In this case, we said, I think, salesperson or name by region or location. And so we have name chosen and we have location, and now it's going to remove anytime we have the same person selling in that region more than once. We're only going to display that combination one time. And if we click OK, it says that it took out 1,855 duplicate values, and we only have 36 unique values left. So 36 unique combinations where this salesperson sold in this region. So you'll never see Betsy in South anywhere else in this list. You'll never see Ashley in Midwest anywhere else in this list. Those are unique combinations that we have filtered. But not only have we filtered, we have actually deleted the data. So if you look over here to the left, there are no more hidden columns for us to look at. If you're going to do this, and I'm going to undo this request, you're going to want to copy your data first. So let's say this was problem 7, asked for something similar. We'd want to create a tab on problem 7. We'd want to select all of our data with a Control-C, paste it back into the problem 7 tab, and then we'd want to do the filter from there. Let's do not only the filter, but the duplicate removal. Name and region, and OK. Now there are only 39, 36 records, whatever it was here, 36 total records that we have that meet the criteria of not duplicating the name and the region for more than one occurrence. The reason you want to copy the data first is it deletes, by hitting remove duplicates, it takes that data and throws it away. It's just not filtered. It is actually deleted. If you were to do that on your original data set, you would lose that data and then not be able to use it for anything else. So you want to copy it first, as in problem 7 and 11, and I put that little hint for you on the homework assignment itself to do that. And just a reminder, if you're going to filter by something that talks about being higher than average or lower than average, you're not necessarily going to see every record. If you wanted to see all sales of lip gloss that the total units were higher than average, first we'd have to filter the data for lip gloss, if that's what we want, a lip gloss, and then units we could filter above average or higher than average. Higher than average and above average would be the same in this case. We're not going to have half of the records here because some of the above average numbers don't fit into lip gloss. There's no way with filtering to say, give me the top 20% or top half of just lip gloss. If you wanted to do that, let's say you wanted that information, you would first have to filter only by the category you wanted, in this case lip gloss, copy that data, paste it into a new spreadsheet or a new location, and then apply a new filter and say top half of, in this case, lip gloss units. And that would allow you to show truly half of the total transactions of lip gloss. But remember, if you apply a filter in Excel today for above average, below average, it's going to be for every entry you have, total 1,891 records in this case, not just the 412 records you have for lip gloss. I believe that should do it. That should give you all the tips and hints you need for doing the Week 9 homework on filters. If you have any problems, drop me an email and we can talk about it. Thanks and have a great day.